In order to practice our naming, I've drawn 5 structures up here. 3 of them we should be able to name using the rules we've already defined. These 2 will need a new rule in order to account for their increased complexity. These first 3, here's an alkane, an alkene, an alkyne. All we need to do is count the number of carbons in the chain. So here I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this would be hex for 6 carbons. And then since there's no double or triple bonds, there's only single bonds, it would be hexane. All right. Next one, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Means it's going to be pent. Pent for 5. And now it has a double bond right at the beginning. So we would give this a ene for our suffix. So pentene would give it slightly different properties than pentane. All right, and here we go. We've got a 1, 2, 3, but what is this? When we draw triple bonds, if you can remember from general chemistry, a triple bond is going to lock an atom in place. And so we actually draw these specifically with this atom locked in place. So our carbon here, this would be our number 4 carbon, is going to be stuck in a straight line with carbon number 5. Okay, so this also is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whenever you see that triple bond, and whenever you draw it, it should be drawn straight, and one carbon will be at the start of the bond, another carbon will be at the corner, and another carbon will be at the end of the bond. So this is 5 carbons. So this will be pent, and it's a triple bond in there. So we go pent-ine. Okay. Now let's look at our more complex structures. What we have here are called side chains. Now just like normal, I've got this 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon chain, but then there's this little extra bit hanging off the side. That is another carbon. When we draw it like this, that means there is 1 extra carbon. So I have 1 carbon hanging on the outside. Now, our base name is going to be the same. So if we ignore our side chain, what would we name this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is bute. So we'd call this butane. So butane. We'll name this butane. Well, let's give it a little more room for the side chain. Butane. Let's write that a little larger. So we'll call it butane. But now, what do I do with this extra little carbon hanging off the side? Well, for side chains, let's go back to our rules. For side chains, what we're going to do is we're going to add in an extra word in front of our base chain. And we're going to give that word a prefix according to how many carbons are in that side chain, and then we're going to end it with "ill." Okay? Now, there's one more layer of complexity, but let's just start with this. So we end it with an "ill." So let's go back. So since I've got 1 for my carbon, it's going to be a meth, and since it's a side chain, I say methyl. So it's going to be methyl butane. Let's try the same thing with the next one. So here I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 would be hex. There's no double or triple bond, so it's hexane. And then I've got a 1, 2 carbon chain. 2 carbons was F, so I say F. And then a side chain gets that suffix "ill," so it's ethyl hexane.